Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're joining us today. We are reaching you today from Nkolo Wisdom University. Today's date is Orie Market Day in the first month of the Igbo lunar calendar called Onwa Mbu. We are still in the first month of the Igbo lunar calendar. While in the Roman Catholic calendar, today's date is March 11, 2025. And remember, at Nkolo Wisdom University, we always advise you to use your naturally given common sense, which we call Akonuche in Igbo language. Also, we package lectures and present them from Igbo man, Biafran, and African perspectives, because that is how it concerns you and me. And therefore, we are asking you to please subscribe and join to our YouTube channel. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Remember, Nkolo Mahadum was also set up to decolonize your mind. Decolonize your mind from mental slavery. That is another reason why Nkolo Mahadum was set up. So we can tell you the truth. And we have to warn you, today's lecture, many people will misunderstand it, but it is our responsibility at Nkolo Mahadum to always present the truth to you. But it is now left for you to make the judgment. Because even though many of us have been born into families that participate in all this religion, but sometimes you have to think, you have to reason out of the box. Does this really make sense? And so the title of today's lecture is the clarification of some beliefs from colonial masters as propagated by some of our brothers. The clarification, we want to clarify some of the beliefs from the colonial masters as propagated by some of our brothers. Beliefs like prophecy, Bible, Jesus, Satan, heaven, hell, curing diseases, asking the men to remove their red cap during prayers, while the women will keep their head tied. And also, is there power in prayer? These are the things we want to clarify to you, and we have a lot to cover. And so let's get to speed. So let's take up the first one, prophecy. We all have been hearing about somebody going to a church in Lagos State, in Lagos, Nigeria, and there was a prophecy that she will be buying a 500 million house mansion. And then the prophecy went bad. And the propagator of that church, of that ministry, is now claiming that it was somebody else that sent the lady to come to his church. Now, the question is, if you are really seeing something, if you have the power to see something, to see in future, to see what's going to happen in future, why wouldn't you also see that girl was sent by somebody? You should have seen that. So this is just to tell you that all this prophecy that somebody is telling you that he's a prophet, he can see something, those guesswork. They are doing guesswork. They are not getting the power from anywhere. Also, remember during the Buhari-Goodluck Jonathan election in Enugu, where Reverend Mbaka said that Buhari was God sent and that Goodluck Jonathan is bad luck. You remember that as well? So, and we all experienced the government of Buhari, and we know that the Buhari government actually destroyed Nigeria. So that prophecy by Mbaka is a lie. And so let's go to TB Joshua. TB Joshua's house collapsed. The house he was building collapsed and killed almost 116 people. And he didn't see it. He didn't see that the house he was building is going to collapse. This is an overseer. These are those claiming to be seeing something, to be prophesying. But his house collapsed and 116 people died in that incident. Also, TB Joshua surprisingly also died 6 days to his birthday. He didn't know that he's going to die. He didn't know he's going to die. He just was, he was overseeing a prayer. He was, in the church praying, overseeing a church service when he started to feel some discomfort in his heart. So he didn't know he's going to die, but he died at the age of 58. And he died on June 5th, 2021. But his house collapsed. The church he was building collapsed in September 12th, 2014. None of this he saw. And also, the son of Pastor Enoch Adeboye, which is the general overseer of Redeemed Christian Church, his son, Pastor Dare Adeboye, died around May 4th, 2021, without Adeboye knowing. Adeboye, who is the general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church, his son died by surprise. He didn't know. He didn't prophesy it. Also, in 2023 election between Peter Obi and the Tinubu, majority of the men of God predicted, they say they saw that Peter Obi will be the president. Now, after that election, is Peter Obi the president? The answer is no. So, if anybody tells you at any time that he can prophesy, he's seen this and he's seen that, please put your running shoe and run away from that person. He's just trying to target your time and money. Nobody has power to prophesy. What are they prophesying with? And that gets us now to the Bible. The Bible that was brought by our colonial masters is just a collection of stories covering many places and characters, and Jesus Christ is just the main actor in that book. It's a story book. And both the Bible, Jesus, and Mary have no power. They don't have any power. You can tell from what has been going on in our lifetime. You see the Fulani herdsmen with gun, killing everybody, killing both Christians, killing both Reverend Fathers, and kidnapping them. And they do not have the power from the Bible or Jesus to save them. And according to the Vanguard newspaper, on March 5th, 2025, just a few days ago, Reverend Father Sylvester Okechukwu was kidnapped in Kaduna and killed by the kidnappers. And so many Reverend Fathers, so many men of God have been kidnapped, and they either pay ransom to be released or be killed by the kidnappers. And no Bible, no Jesus, no Mary is saving them. The men of God themselves. Plus, many Christians have also been kidnapped and they pay ransom or be killed. And none of the Bible, or Jesus or Mary saved those people. So there's no power in the Bible or Jesus or Mary. So anybody telling you he's using the Bible or Jesus or Mary to do anything for you, please put on your running shoe and run as fast as you can from that person. He doesn't have no power to do anything for you. Give yourself a test. Take the Bible. The Bible contains the Jesus and the Mary and all the characters there. Go to one of the rooms in your house and lock yourself inside that room with that Bible. It's only time will tell when you will die. As the days pass by, you will be emaciating, you'll be losing weight. No Jesus, no Bible will bring food for you in that room where you are. They can't bring anything to you. They cannot help you. The same way, if you have any problem in this world, there's no power from the Bible or Jesus or Mary to help you. It's only the government or human beings, men or women, that can change your life, that can help you, that can do anything for you. Talking about Satan, there's nowhere in this world where you have Satan. Satan are men and women, human beings, and the government. So if the government is not treating you well, if human beings, men and women, are not treating you well, they are Satan to you. And at that point, you are in hell because you are not feeling happy. You are feeling deprived. And so also heaven. There's nowhere on this planet where you will say there is heaven. Heaven is on this earth, depending on the environment where you are. If you live in an environment that is very good, very well designed, and you have the ability, the government there is able to be giving you help in terms of food, housing, medical care, vehicle purchase, and other incentives, that you don't have much problem. You are in heaven. There's no other heaven that you will go to, as they are teaching you in the Bible. Curing of disease. It is only the medical doctors, those in the medical area, in the medical field, medical practitioners, be it medical doctors, pharmacists, nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, respiratory therapists, those in the medical field, they are the ones that should be curing your diseases. Not the Bible, not the church, not Jesus. They do not cure diseases. If they are curing diseases, why do we then have all these hospitals and all this help from the government of the people that brought this religion to you? Why do they have all these things in their land? Because if the Bible and Jesus is curing disease, then the government wouldn't have the hospitals and even some of the initiatives they have, whereby they have like nursing homes, hospice, where they take care of the elderly people, taking care of them. And so curing of diseases is not done by the church or Jesus or Bible. Always go to health professionals to take care of your medical conditions. Removing the cap. You have seen so many places where people are praying, whether in the church or where they are doing something, they tell the men to remove their cap. Why the women we retain their head ties. And the question is, where does the prayer go into the person, if the prayer actually works, is it from the head? Why would the man remove his cap? Why the woman is allowed to keep her head tied? But the prayer is supposed to be going here. You're supposed to be hearing the prayer with your ears. We hear the prayer with our ears. The prayer does not enter through the head. And so it doesn't make any sense to have the man remove your cap or your hat when you are praying. It's just to make you to be submissive to the colonial culture, to the colonial practitioners, to the colonial proprietors. It doesn't make any sense. And so we are advising all men, do not remove your cap when you are trying to pray. And again, we want you also to know that prayer itself doesn't help anybody. What helps people is how the government is managing the resources, because the way government is organized in such a way that all the resources are collected by the government. So the policy of government is what makes you successful, and the help you get from human beings and your family and your personal ability, and not from prayer. You can pray from now to you can pray from now till for 24 hours. Nothing will change in your life if not by the government or human beings that will help you. Or you come out from that prayer and try to hustle. If not, no, prayer cannot help you. So these are the things we want to clarify to you. And we are calling on the government. We are making this suggestion to the government. You need to remove all these colonial schools. The schools owned by the churches should be taken away by the government. Government should take away those schools owned by the churches, because those are the places where they continue to brainwash our people about all these things we are discussing in this lecture today. This brainwashing you about prophecy, about Bible, about Jesus, about Satan, about hell, about curing diseases and removing the cap and all this. Those churches, those schools have to be taken away by the government. And also the curriculum in our schools have to be reversed to minimize, to remove all those sections, all those Christian knowledge teachings that is teaching our children all this false information by the colonial masters. This is very, very, very important. And that is why we deem it important to let you know today that all these things that they are telling you that somebody can prophesy, that the Bible has power, Jesus, Satan, all those are lies. They are lies. And therefore, the title of today's lecture is to clarify the clarification of some beliefs from our colonial masters as propagated by some of our brothers, because it is our brothers that are propagating all these lies to our people. Like prophecy, you see what is going on in Lagos, where a lady come to prophesy that the man of God prophesied that a lady will buy a 500 million house. Eventually, it turned out to be a lie. And the man of God should have seen that this is a lie if he really have any power. But he doesn't have any power. And during the Buhari Goodluck Jonathan election, Mbaka prophesied that Buhari was God sent and Goodluck Jonathan was bad luck. What happened? Buhari ruined the country. Buhari was the worst leader in Nigeria. Also, TB Joshua, his house collapsed on September 12, 2014, and 16 people died. And this is a general overseer. These are one of those claiming that they are seeing this and that they are seeing that. And also, he died 6 days to his 58th birthday on June 5th, 2021, without him knowing, because he was in the church before he started to get the discomfort, and then from there, he died. Also, there was a stampede at Holy Ghost Catholic Church in UK, in Anambra State, in 2013, and 25 people died there. And the general overseer of that place didn't see what is going to happen. And then Pastor Enoch Adeboye, the general overseer of Redeemed Christian Church, his son, Pastor Dare Adeboye, died on May 4th, 2021, without him knowing, without him overseeing it. Also, in 2023, majority of the men of God prophesied that Peter Obi will be the president. Today, is Peter Obi the president? So how much more do you have to see or to hear before you can know that all these men of God telling you about prophecy, they're all liars? Because they don't have any power. The Bible is just a collection of stories covering many places and characters, and Jesus as the main actor. Both the Bible and Jesus and Mary have no power. A lot of Christians have been killed. A lot of men of God have been killed or kidnapped. And in the case of kidnapping, they either pay ransom or be killed. And according to Vanguard newspaper, on March 5th, 2025, just a few days ago, Reverend Father Sylvester Okechukwu was kidnapped and killed in Kaduna. So, and so many other men of God have been kidnapped and killed. So if there's power in Bible and Jesus, why wouldn't they save those souls who are especially working for them? And for Satan, there's no Satan anywhere. Satan results from the action of government on human beings to you. Anytime the government is not doing their job, they are Satan to you. And at the point you are feeling bad, you are in hell. There's no other hell any other place. Hell results from the action of government or man to you when it is bad. And there's no heaven anywhere in this world. The higher you go the sky, the cooler and windy it becomes. There's no spiritual or human life above the sky. So heaven is heaven. The concept of heaven is on this earth, depending on where you stay, the environment where you live, how you are being treated by the government. If the government is solving most of your problems, you are in heaven. There's no other heaven you have to go to. And cure of diseases are cured by medical professionals, not by the Bible or Jesus or any other thing outside the medical field. Do not be deceived. And if anybody is telling you to remove your cap when they are praying, for what reason? Where does the prayer get into you from? Isn't that from the ear? So if they are telling the men to remove their cap, how about the woman? So if the prayer is going through the head, why should the woman be allowed to keep her head tied? Does it make sense to you? Come on, people. Let us see the truth, move away from lies, and save our people from mental slavery, colonial manipulation, and misinformation and miseducation. And that is partly why Nkoloma was set up, so that we can help you to decolonize your mind from mental slavery, as most of our brothers are propagating from the beliefs of our colonial masters. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a good day. Please subscribe and join us in our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok, and comment, like, share to everybody to understand the truth. We cannot shy away from the truth, even though many of us have been emancipulated, have been immersed into this lie, either through birth, family connection, or friends. But we are here to set you free. That's why you should join us at Colonial, so that you can be a free thinker, saving yourself and your family and African people is why Colonial is set up. And thank you for listening and have a good day. Bye-bye.